Take shelter, guys, because the Defenders After Show is back on AfterBuzz TV to talk about episodes 5 and 6. Oh my god, the cliffhanger! We're going to get into everything that just went down right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome back, Marvel fans, to AfterBuzz TV's Defenders After Show. Oh my god, we have some stuff to break down.
Do we?
Oh boy, we do. It is the Hell's Kitchen temperature in the studio right now.
Yes, it is. So this jacket's not staying on very long, guys.
But thank you guys all for joining us. We're going to get right into it. First, the introductions. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. Today's episode, I'm cosplaying Jessica Jones in my run-through, which means I'm wearing a scarf and gloves. But thank you for joining us. You can find me on all social media, that Zach Wilson.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Cassandra. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at AmyCassandra_TV. Today, I am dressed as Elektra. It is toasty, guys. It really is toasty.
Like, she's continuing with this villain thing that Amy's cultivating, and I'm frightened.
She's not Elektra, she's Black Sky.
Oh.
It depends on who you ask.
This is true.
I'm both.
I'm gonna slide this way.
Looks pretty dangerous either way.
Yes, yeah.
That's what you're going for, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I am.
All right, what's up, guys? My name is Candice Cruz, and you can find me on all my social media at Candice Cruz. And I, too, decided to go Jessica Jones route, so we got a twofer for this episode. I like it.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Nate Miller here. You can find me on all social media at DogLikeNate, and I am not cosplaying, but I am wearing a sweet Thanos shirt.
So.
There you go.
It's very nice.
A little bigger
show
picture
it
there.
Show it off a little bit. There you go. There you go.
One, it says the end
Some
begins
classic.
here. And
Oh,
we are.
very.
And if you're
gonna
a
cut
fan
it
of us dressing up, or specifically me making myself look like a fool, you're gonna want to be around later tonight for our finale, which will be no spoilers, but it will be at 10 p.m. Pacific time tonight. All right, guys, let's dive in first to Take Shelter, episode 5. These episodes sort of like just combined in my head because it was just, I watched them back to back and it was so good. But what did you guys think of what went through? Just like, let me take a step back. Let's start with all the loved ones that we got checked in.
Yeah.
I really liked this beat, so I wanted to start.
No, it was so cool seeing the worlds combine. It was just like that really cool moment where you're like, oh, everybody's intercepting. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that one, seeing everybody together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karen came back.
Yeah. All right.
So-
I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong because in certain other cases I'm very right. We're going to talk about when I'm wrong right now.
Yes, yeah.
You can have your one win at the end.
There you go. But yeah, it was great to see everyone.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, you know, we did take a little break and then we're back. We're watching the rest of the episodes. But it's interesting to see all of the colors come together, you know, color correction wise, everyone's colors coming. And it actually works way better than you think it would. Because, you know, with Luke Cage, there's lots of yellows and reds from Daredevil and like greens and, you know, but it actually works. And watching it again with fresh eyes, because I watched episode 5 last night and 6 this morning. It's just like,
Same.
God, hey. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. Nate, do you have any thoughts on this? Before I feel like we should go back and talk about the showdown.
Yeah, I mean, really quick before we go to that, it was nice to see all the characters too, and it also felt really natural the way they're having them interact, which is nice. It doesn't feel too forced, but I also think again that we're going to see more because you don't get this kind of setup without, like, especially they're all in one place.
Right.
You know, we've still got 2 more episodes left. I would be shocked if they all get through without being in any type of danger that they have to be rescued, because they have to be in some way. So it's nice to get a checkup and see where everyone is at. It's nice that they touched on it because, you know, that's a big concern with all superheroes is, you know, the people they care about, you know, their enemies coming after them.
To the point where I'm like hearing them all say like, we got to protect the ones we love. We get it. You're superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, that's just standard stock answer.
To go off of that, though, I did like, I mean, all the supporting, quote unquote, don't don't want to like push them under the bus with them being supporting, but all the loved ones, let's go with that route. They're all so strong in and of themselves. They're all very heady. They're very much like they want to fight as well. So I don't think that any of them are just going to sit still and just stand around.
Yeah.
I think especially at the end of where we left off at 6, I don't think they're going to just sit around and just wait in the police department and just twiddle their thumbs.
Yeah, but let's go back because I want to start at the top of this episode where we probably should have started. But I just like looked and I was like, oh yeah, that part was so cool. But the fight sequence, like the continued fight sequence in Royal Dragon in the restaurant, now that everyone is showing up there.
Yeah, the way that they did
really
that was
cool.
so
It was
cool.
awesome.
Like it was like a, it felt like you were watching a really classic action film. You were getting the nice setup, especially with the composition of like having the string parts that were playing too, the classical music.
Yeah.
Like in contrast to what we've already seen from that scene when the action like gets crazy in the car and all that stuff that's going on. So to kind of rewind and go back to see it from a different perspective and then link up, I always love when people do that, and I think they did it really well. And it's cool to see all of the hand in action.
Yeah, all of them getting attacked, and it was what I really liked is like just the character moments of like Stick being like, all right, we all got to work together here. If we work together, we're all going to get out of this alive. And Matt's like, Elektra.
See you guys.
I hate
He's
that.
bye.
He's like, bye, Felicia. Yeah, so freaking selfish of him. And then Danny's just thinking like, what the heck, dude? Because we all know that they do work much better when they are together. I mean, there's a reason why they're the Defenders, not just one. But it's interesting, and I like what Jessica said about Matt, because she was upset with him. She said, oh, well, he just went off with the chicken spandex.
Are you wearing spandex today?
No.
Okay.
No, just regular jeans. They're red, though. So it's red, and black. Yeah, no spandex today.
Today, villain. But what did you guys think of how it just like, once the fight got going, and when the other fingers of the hand all started showing up, like this became not a small fight. This was, as far as the hand was concerned, this was like they're like, all right, everything is going
Basically.
to this.
Yes.
I mean,
Do you think that was a smart decision on their part? Like,
No.
like they'd finally cornered the Iron Fist in their mind.
Yes, but in smart tactical things, you wouldn't keep all of your leaders in one location. Just saying. Like, you wouldn't want... Like,
You don't want to show your hand.
you're going back to the
like,
puns.
I'm
aren't ya?
sorry. It just makes sense. Like, if you don't want to show all your cards.
I agree. I don't think that they all should have been there.
It makes sense,
Wait,
though,
one
because
didn't come
why...
in. One didn't come into the after. One didn't come in during the fight.
Are you talking about Sawande?
No.
Like being outside?
Bakudo wasn't there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank
Because
you.
Bakudo
he
came in
was-
after.
He was on his way still, but he went to meet up with
He was the backup from South America. That they
Yes.
referred to.
Yeah.
which is
Well, we
another
were
thing.
wrong. We were like, oh yeah, Bakudo's dead, so somebody's replacing
I
him.
told you that
Yeah.
they were
He would be brought
he was
back.
either coming back or they were going to replace him with
Yeah.
somebody who was just one of the two. But I guess maybe that's why part of the reason why their resources are so low, because they've had to bring so many people back recently.
Yeah, they had to bring Nobu back. They had to bring Bakudo back. I think it's also just like they are running low in general. I think it's
After a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I think it was. I think they must have escaped from Kunlun with a finite supply, and
Right.
that's why they've started to make these more desperate moves that we've seen them like building stuff in New York because their supply is almost out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not really dead until they get decapitated. So
From
they
what
hadn't
we've
gotten
seen, yeah.
decapitated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Very gorily. Is that a word?
Sure.
Sure.
We'll make it a word.
I wouldn't
Right
say it
here.
was gory. It wasn't too bad.
You liked
On the
it?
gore scale, it's
Who's the
pretty-
villain now? Just say. You liked it. You liked the gore.
Why are you trying to shift the
What?
Evil villain onto you.
so quickly? I was just upset that Alexander didn't get involved in the fight. really at all.
Yeah,
I
she
wonder.
doesn't seem like a fighter though. I feel like she only exercises her.
Everybody keeps talking about how she's like so powerful and like
maybe she's too powerful to get in the fight. Like she won't get her hands dirty. I did not do that on purpose.
Okay.
I did not.
I get the sense that it is a little bit like she doesn't feel like she should need to.
I can see that.
As the person running the show, like,
yeah.
she's like, everyone else will do the dirty work. I don't get my hands dirty. Like, she still can. We saw with Elektra, like, the character at least can still fight. Do that.
Yeah.
I also wonder if it's like Sigourney Weaver's not necessarily still doing, like, major stunts.
Right.
I wonder if there's, like, a little bit of that aspect to it.
Well, it could have been that she wanted Black Sky to just do everything for her. So
that's the reason why she brought her, maybe.
Yeah, it's like her extension of her, so she is fighting in a way.
I've established in my headcanon that she's too injured or weak in her current state to really fight, and that's part of the reason why her plan is the whole Black Sky thing, because she really needs someone to fight for her, because if the other fingers of the hand realize how weak she is, and I think, I mean, I don't want to skip ahead too much, but I think that's why
they did.
Elektra does what she does, because I think she realizes it when they have that conversation.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll get into Elektra at length, because she has her own major journey throughout these episodes, especially, even more so than I think through the other episodes so far. These were her big, like,
for sure,
times to move forward. But, like, back to the fight, like, I loved the moment where Luke Cage got, like, Wile E. Coyote'd by the garbage truck.
Oh, yes. I was like, where's that reference coming from? And at what point did he get...
Yeah.
Like, it's just like... It's like, no, he's done. And then a garbage truck comes out of nowhere and just plows him down the street.
Well, but that was planned. That was, they set that up.
Oh, I just mean like from our perspective comes out of nowhere.
I loved Sawande's fighting style. It was exactly what I told you. The something about the big strong guys, you got to hit him with the little taps. And like he was hitting him. He was moving.
Yeah, Luke Cage who when Iron Fist like
not even flinching at all. So
he didn't even move when Danny Rand like kicked him until he like Iron Fist punched him.
Right.
Yep.
And he knocked him out the restaurant into the street to get hit by.
Didn't they also mention that he could slow your heart rate down at one point? Didn't they say? I swear I'm not making this up.
There are ways with like certain like punches and pressure points that you can like affect somebody's heart.
I think he said he'll make your heart beat stop before you get close, which I think he was just saying that he'll kill you before you
I didn't know if it was like
sense.
I don't know if it was
an
like
expression or if he legitimately could.
That's sort of what I took from it, is that he uses a technique that like affects, like that attacks your heart directly.
Right. Well, if he does, we didn't get to see it.
Or it just wasn't effective against Luke Cage, because like even if it was able to push him back,
even if it hurt him, he wasn't able to penetrate.
Yeah.
I loved the part where they're all talking and then Luke comes in, but Matt notices it first and he smiles, and then Luke comes in and he's just like, "Hey guys," and we're like, "Yay, he's back!" He smiles in a way that I don't think we've seen Luke smile in a while, because it's just, he's so cool, he's calm, collected. I mean, he did what he had to do, and now he's alive and everything's okay for the moment. But I liked seeing Luke win. What can I say?
I mean, Luke and Danny, I think throughout these episodes are like, we're seeing their friendship sort of bond. Like, he sort of kidnaps him, ties him to a chair, all that, but they're still bonding.
It's a friendship tie-up. It's a friendship hostage situation here.
Which, like, I'm seeing why everyone's like, ugh, Danny.
There's been a lot of that. Like, I was going through Twitter, and there was shade going left and right at Danny.
Well,
no one really likes him at all, even in this.
Even in the show, though. So, they put him in that position where they're saying, hey, this is later, but we need you to stay here. We need to hide you, basically. And then it's almost like your family trying to tell you what to do, and then you're a teenager, and he's just saying, no, like, don't tell me what to do. And then they start crowding him, and then, it seemed not childish, but just a little bit weird, because they're all grown.
Childish is the right word.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect word to describe his character. I don't think he's supposed to be likable.
I think there's.
This is 100% intentional.
I credit this to one of the other AfterBuzz hosts, Tari Miller, who I've done a lot of shows with. But he had said, if you watch him and just like this would all feel a lot more reasonable if he was 16.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you sort of like think of him like, because in Iron Fist, they sort of set him up that he's like a little bit of Arrested Development, like he never really grew up because he like as a kid got stuck in this mystical place. Like, he's still listening to that iPod that he had. So I think if we think of this character as 16 years old, everything makes
more sense
about how he's behaving. Because I mean, do you guys think that you would have done anything differently in his shoes? Like, if you're being told you're the danger to, like, you're the key, what he does is he wants to fight. He wants to continue the fight, not run away.
You have to remember, like, just because they've had this conversation in the last however many days that this has been going on, that all of a sudden now he's the key and they have to keep him from the hand and protect him. He has his whole other life before that, where he has been trained that he is the weapon, not a key. He is there to destroy the hand, to fight the hand. So some people coming in to him basically talking about nothing that they really know about, you know, even though Matt is involved, but Danny really doesn't know the extension of what that Matt is involved. So to them, all these people are talking about stuff they have no idea about. Meanwhile, he is, you know, the weapon that is supposed to take them out. You know, the Legend of Iron Fist Immortal, whatever. That's why he says it the way he says it so many times. It becomes a joke, but because to him it's very, very real. So yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it. From like an emotional standpoint, he's very much still a teenager, very immature.
He's hot-headed.
Yeah, and he has. I mean, I like it only because if they actually successfully complete an arc with him that shows him growing up and, you know, being a responsible adult and whatever, it will be very, very rewarding. But it's just tough right now. That's why I like the Defenders setup, because he doesn't, you know, we don't have to like all of them, you know, right? It kind of makes sense for him to be there.
I'm sure someone out there loves Iron Fist. Somewhere.
I have a couple friends. I have one friend who really
there
loves
you
Iron
go.
Fist.
See, there is one out there.
The show or the character?
The show.
Because I'm a huge fan of the character, but this Danny Rand is
the character's great. Like
different.
if you read the Immortal Iron Fist run, especially, like that's just such an amazing story and a great way to get into the character. If you want an Iron Fist that you will connect with,
and you won't just hate everything that he does.
But people do. But there are people who really did like the Iron Fist series. Like even though the internet is like attacked it, there's a lot of shows that I love that the internet hates on. Like, and I can respect that.
Yeah.
I just disagree. Anyway, but not to continue that conversation. But let's get back into after the fight. They all meet up and Matt is finally forced to be like, here's the truth. Like they finally get him to own up to everything that he's done. Finally. Were you guys annoyed that it took that long?
Yes.
It was over dramatized and way too drawn out. Like, come on. It's really like, I know how big of a deal it is, but it's really not. She's my ex-girlfriend. Like, it could have just leave it at that. Just like, it's not this. He made it bigger than what it really was, I think.
It's just him trying to, I don't know, Daredevil's a little bit.
She died in his arms. Then later he finds out she came back from the dead and is now a weapon of a ultra secret organization of ninjas. And you're saying he made it too big of a deal of it? It's not.
No. That's not what I was saying.
Ex-girlfriend. Oh yeah, that's my ex.
But no,
like, it's a little bit more involved than that.
Yes. But why did he have to make it so drawn out of like keeping it the way that he was being shady about it was just kind of like
it was dramatic.
She's on the other side, and he doesn't want to kill her. He wants to
save her. Tell them.
Here, hold on. Amy, what are your thoughts?
Just freaking tell them. Be a grown-up. You're not freaking Danny. Tell him, like, hey, this is everything that happened. But I understand he doesn't want to be Daredevil again. He still wants to be just Matt, but he's being brought into this again. So he doesn't want to share everything from the beginning, but knowing that he's an adult, he should tell them, like, hey, this could affect all of us.
The first time that you see her and someone's trying to kill her, wouldn't you be the first person to be like, hold up?
I know her.
Okay. We already know that Matt has trust issues, right? He's
Yes.
a very secretive person. Can we talk about this them that we're saying he should have confided in? You've got Luke Cage, who he knows nothing about. You've got Jessica Jones.
Except that he's an ex-con.
Right. You've got Jessica Jones. I think that speaks for itself. And then you've got Danny, who's been acting like a child.
Well, I don't. I mean,
about being
Danny
the only other person that's there is Stick. He already knows. Stick's just going to cut her head off if he gets a chance. So I don't see why. This is the love of his life who died in his arms.
They're gonna fight
over and powwow. Like, I don't need to just tell you my whole history.
She's like, hey, I know her. We have history together. They're gonna want to kill her whether she knows him or whether he knows her or not. So might as well be like, hey guys, I know her. You know what I mean?
I think that's fair, and that's the thing that he has to sort of like eventually learn. But I think it makes sense to his character at least.
Yeah,
that he's keeping it in, and he doesn't feel like when he shares his secrets, bad things happen.
Especially with the scene where he breaks the circle to go after her. A lot of it is him still trying to figure out what's going on. Is Elektra still there? Should I tell them about it? Or is she really gone? Is it really just the black sky? He has so many questions from their previous encounter.
Stop asking questions. Just do it.
But he's... I mean... All right.
I get it.
No,
I get both sides.
But I
get
your point of view too.
But it's annoying.
He's just a broody... It's just his character. It would be very out of character for him to, if he did do that, I'd be like, that was really weird.
Speaking of Matt, we got full Daredevil back in these episodes in such a just glorious way.
Another great quip from Jess. Nice ears.
Their horns.
So
good. Oh man.
Or what are people
saying? The chat
say?
is going wild.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Who's on our side and who's on your side? Let's see.
Well, either way.
I've got a fair amount on my side.
Good.
All right, good. Well, we're at least on each other's side, so we got two.
Yes.
But as we move we move forward and we get to see Matt like return to being Daredevil, which I think for him was a step because he put this costume to bed. And when he talks to Karen about it, and she's just like, "God, you're doing it again." He's like, "No, I'm not."
I did not like that.
No, Karen just doesn't
get it.
She doesn't get it completely because she's not Matt. She's not Daredevil. So if he feels called to do that, just let him. He's an adult. He knows what he's doing. What?
But again, I think from Foggy and Karen's perspective.
What? From Karen?
Yeah, from like a real person perspective, they don't grasp it at all.
Well, yeah.
All they see is the bruises and
but that's exactly why I think it is a real person response, because he's not letting them in. They only know that he's been fighting crime and he stopped these people once, and they seem to go away. He stopped the Punisher. He dealt with Elektra. Like, they know like those basic things. But I think at the end of the day, Karen and Foggy see him being Daredevil as an addiction. We talked about that in one of yesterday's after shows, and I think it was just accentuated when Karen and Foggy like meet up at the police station because they're like, oh, it's Matt again, right? Yeah. It sounds like the discussion they would say about somebody with an addiction.
Yeah.
But the difference is, like, Matt is trying to get out. Like, he wanted out, but it's become a point where he has to pick it back up. He didn't even try to do this. It just fell into him.
Yeah.
Like, he'd be involved in this even if he tried to get away from it. Because Stick would have hunted him down. Like, he like investigated Midland Circle and all that, but that was just him.
He followed Jessica. Yeah, I mean, even him taking her case was a question, in my opinion, in the direction of the Daredevil suit.
Well, that was something Foggy sent him. He was just like,
gave that to him.
He gave him a stack of he's like, there's a whole bunch of cases you can work on, and he went through and was like, Jessica Jones.
That's just his luck, maybe. See, here's the thing: there's a difference between knowing the character and what is in their personality and what they would do. So Karen would feel like that. And that makes sense, and Matt would act a certain way. But there's still, I mean, we can still have our opinions about not liking what they're doing. Right. So it's. Chat, just remember that. Like, there's a difference we don't have to like it, but I'm glad that they are staying true to their characters and not doing things that don't make sense.
And true to their characters and to how they feel about Daredevil.
Yeah. Right.
That all said,
yes.
Oh, hell yeah, we got Daredevil back in this.
Yeah.
When he, like, there's a palpable difference the way that he walks and moves and behaves as Daredevil, even since season 2. Because it was sort of, it reminds me a lot of the way that the Nolan Batman trilogy laid out, like how he was Batman. Like in season 1, it's like he's not Batman yet. This is like Batman in training, and that was Daredevil in training with season 1. Season 2 was like he's got it going. It's going forward, and then like if you imagine like the years between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Returns, when it's just like him at his like fullest, like just like this is just him going. This is Daredevil, just like people are scared of him. Like when he walks into a room, people as powerful as like the fingers of the hand are like, oh, I'm not touching this. Like this is like a bad thing.
Yeah.
That Daredevil showed up. That's scary to them. And I love that.
I don't think he's at his peak yet, but I
don't know that
Maybe
he's
he doesn't
at his
have to
peak,
be.
but
he's not
like,
fully
his way.
invested in wanting to do it just yet either.
Because his
Right.
mind is
So
still
I think that's why he's not at his
yeah.
fullest potential. I feel like the moment that you make that decision that you're like, this is it and this is who I am, then of course you're gonna really see him evolve into like what he actually like fully can be.
yeah.
I think that's in life. Getting deep for a moment.
it just like it was fun to watch this. Like this was like the superhero part of the show that we were sort of like excited to see because he's in the costume and he's like beating up bad guys and fighting ninjas as Daredevil.
It was definitely a throwback to Daredevil season 2, which was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, question though, a little bit later on, why didn't Matt notice Sawande like coming?
I
think he was just. You mean like when he broke out of the chair?
Yeah.
Because they've got Sawande captive.
Yeah, I wondered that too.
Yeah.
I mean, weren't they like in a discussion or something?
They were in a huge argument between them.
Well, he's not paying attention, and then 2, we already know that members of the Hand can like slow their heartbeat so that they can like not.
And
be heard.
also, I mean, we
Just
didn't
like
hear
Alexandra.
Alexandra come in either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
So especially the fingers, I'm sure, have mastered it.
Yeah, but Stick heard it. I think it was just that there was other things going on. I think if it had been a quieter room, Matt absolutely would have noticed it. But Stick heard it. That's why they had that quick little insert shot of the him like scraping the piece of glass or whatever it was off the ground. Stick heard it, and that's why you see him in the background of that shot actually walk away from the group. Like they're all like, oh no, we can't do, and he just walks away, calmly picks up his sword and walks over and is like, I'm gonna cut this guy's head off.
Yeah, and waits till.
This is what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
Whoopsh. That was.
It's a very clean cut.
It was.
Stick, man.
Oh.
Stick.
One of my favorite characters in Daredevil canon, and I think they 100% killed the character. It was perfect. They like
Well, they
Kill
did
the
like,
character.
I mean, like yes, he is like that's what happened
Literally
by the end of
and
episode 6.
But it's I'm sad now though that we're not going to get any more of him, but I feel like he got a good run.
Yeah, I mean,
You never know though.
it's
in this
just a
world.
pleasure watching. I can't remember the actor's name. Scott Glenn.
Yeah.
I got it. Didn't even need IMDb for it.
Yeah.
But because he was just like he's been so phenomenal. He was this year and the previous seasons on The Leftovers. It was a treat to watch, and seeing him here as Stick, just like oh, I have more of this guy. He's so good. But Stick always has a plan. Like that's the thing. You got to give him that much credit. Like any situation, that guy has a plan. Even if it's killing his...
To an extent.
Does he have a plan?
He even said previously that survivors don't have a plan.
Yeah,
they
I
just
think-
go.
I think that's his
plan.
Yeah, is that his plan is survive. Is whatever happens, all right, we'll
Doesn't
get
matter
over
who
it.
gets in
We'll
the
do
way.
this now. And
Yeah.
we'll do
I
that
mean, well,
now.
that's what I mean. Like he is constantly adapting. Like his plan, he doesn't always have like that it necessarily planned out from the get go. But something changes his plan. He's like, all right, well, I guess I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna use him as a key, I guess.
We're gonna kill him.
Yeah, I should probably kill that guy. And he just like immediately puts it into work. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna start meditating and burning incense and putting this all together in a way where I'm gonna knock Luke Cage out because he can't fight him, can't cut his head off, but he can get air into his lungs.
Yeah.
Stick is just crafty.
Yeah.
Scary crafty.
I'm sure that Stick has used that trick before. You know, I'm sure he's got a
The man cut his hand off. Let's not forget
He's
that.
capable of
He is
anything.
He's like a ninja MacGyver.
Cam Boyd in the chat says Stick was the best a-hole.
I did not hate him until that moment where he figured it and he clicked and he was like, okay, well, now we got to kill Iron Fist. I was like, wait, what?
I'm surprised he didn't say that earlier.
But we
He didn't
know
wanna
that he
say
was the
it.
key
Yeah,
until
well, I'm
that
wondering
point.
if he would. What? I mean,
Like,
he
100%
knew that they
justified.
wanted him, that they
Right.
wanted
Yeah.
him alive.
Well, he
And-
also, if he'd said that to the group, like, especially with
Right.
Matt there, Matt who won't kill, like, bad guys,
Yeah.
like, really bad guys, he knows that they're not going to be like, well, okay, I don't like killing people like Kingpin or the Punisher or, like, any of these people. But this, like, young kid, this young punk kid
know, man.
who's,
He's
like,
pretty
going to
annoying.
be useful for the enemy.
Sounds good. Kill him. The end of episode 5 was fantastic. Elektra going and discovering who she really was, or Black Sky discovering who she really was, and then going into Matt's room or apartment, and then going into his bedroom and falling asleep in a fetal position. Oh dear, that was so amazing.
Look, I got to hand it to them. Her story was electric. Mic drop.
You
But
nothing.
Silence!
Nothing.
Victory.
It didn't come from me this time.
Get a hand from me.
see, that was forced. That
That
wasn't
was
like
so-
hers is just
Just trying to
given.
join the club.
Well, welcome. It's nice to have
We'll
you.
let you on the side for a little bit. Thank you.
Mark's got my back.
But this is her storyline is so just full of it's
Hers
great.
is full.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Like all the other ones, we've got the fighting, we got all the cool stuff, but hers is just there's a journey, and you're getting to see every element of it, and it's just really nice to like watch her discovery, and then not know what the hell she's going to do with it.
Yeah, I like that it's still it's still very subtle. Like
Yes, it's
you're
not
still you're getting
overdone.
a lot of character with very little dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It's just her acting and her facial expressions and her reacting to dialogue
Yes.
and not
Yeah.
really saying much.
That's-
But there's still a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know the way it was directed and produced and written, everything works, because when you don't have to spell it out for the audience and
They
say
just get
so
it.
much, it's just the moments in between each, I don't know, dialogue, each scene. You know, there's so much underneath it that they get to show that, and that's what I really do love about the Defenders and what they're doing with it so far. We're almost done, but yeah.
I think just the scene where she goes into Matt's apartment for me was the standout moment of like this slow discovery and her talking with Alexandra about this. Like she's discovering who she used to be, and that like because one of the first things she asks is who am I? Like, or she's like who, and she's pointing to herself. And this, like, that's become her driving force, is because it's the thing that no one will tell her. They keep telling her she's nothing, but it's the power of love, guys.
That's the power of love. Yeah.
I
You're
get the
welcome.
sense that from what what's his name, Murakami.
Thank you. Are we going to talk about that, please?
We'll get into it.
I'm waiting
so
for it.
much.
I'm biting my tongue.
Can't jump around too much.
Okay.
Keep
going.
We're talking about Elektra.
Yes.
If that's not a big enough plot line for you, Candice.
No, I'm just saying the moment that she sees him, Matt, and acknowledges it. Are we not going to talk about that?
No, that's what we're gonna talk.
Okay,
Like, I'm
thank
saying
you.
like, but like what he's talking about when like he says like she wasn't the empty vessel that we were promised.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think the idea is that like former Black Skies who were treated like this came through, and they were just like empty vessels who could be pointed as weapons. Because they've said that she's not like the first Black Sky. The Black Sky is
Yeah.
a tradition.
Well, remember the last one we saw was just that child.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that most of them don't get to live a life, let
Yes.
alone a full life like Electra's. You know, already going through what she went through.
Yeah,
with the
but I
deaths
think
and
the
everything.
big thing is that those those other Black Skies did not come into contact or even have the time in their lives to develop a love connection to another person. And the fact that she developed that deep of a connection, a bond with Matt, is ultimately, I think, is the undoing of the Black Sky, because that's what brings her back from Black Sky, and then, as we see at the end of the episode, to being Elektra. There's too many little hints around for her that you can figure out who she is, the size and everything. Like, she's lingering on those thoughts. But I think if she hadn't interacted with Matt, that all would have gone away.
Yeah.
But as soon as she sees that the sexy old Daredevil, she's in on it.
Yeah.
Elektra Devil, all the way.
Are those the partnering? Is that the couple name?
I'm trying to find a better one.
Okay, I was waiting
but
for
Elektra
it.
Devil's like as good as I can do right now.
Okay, we'll take that for now.
Electrevel? No.
Oh, no? I like that one a little more. Chat, weigh in, please.
Yeah, Chad, if you got a Elektra Daredevil ship name that's better than Elektra Devil, which is the laziest one ever, go for it. I'm getting head shakes in the room.
No, Delectra is lazy. Delectra.
And I've been saying not Elektra, still evil. That doesn't matter. She's, by the end of episode 6, she is absolutely back to being Elektra. Whatever that means,
Completely?
she might be more powerful. I think so. I think.
I do because.
So the end of the episode, obviously,
she identifies as Elektra.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, well, does that mean she's gonna go back to Matt and everything's gonna be normal? No.
Well, no, she's gone through too much. But the girl knows how to listen and is soaking up everything. She is playing her cards in the right way, 100%.
Well, so I guess the question, like, to Nate a little bit, what you're saying, it's like, is it Elektra in that she has accepted that she is Elektra Nachios, the name that she sees on that card that she finds at Matt's apartment, or has she regained her memories and the life story that is Elektra?
So
or is it just a name?
She says her name is Elektra, but it could be a blend of everything. I mean, you change no matter if you change from day to day. You're not the same person you were like 2 years ago. So based off of everything she's been through, she's gonna be different. I don't think she's exactly the way she was before. I don't think she's good. I think there's something in her that is a little evil, but I don't know how she's gonna use that because, I mean, she's been through a lot, and she obviously did not trust Alexandra, so that says something. But it could have just been that she just didn't want someone telling her what to do. So that doesn't really mean that she's good to go. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. That moment.
I think it's supposed to be like we're supposed to wonder. I think.
Yeah.
Of course.
What were you guys thinking? Did you think that Alexandra was gonna die in that moment,
yes.
like during that scene?
Yes.
I did, but I did not think that it was going to be her that did it, though.
I did. Well,
I saw her staring at the swords.
I mean, like
every time she went through the swords, she was
what am I going to do?
And she kept eyeing that one particular one every single time she went by his swords.
Well, the size, because the size are her weapon. That's her. That's what she grew up training with. And I talked about it in the last episode. Like, I thought, like, Elektra will probably end up running the hand, which is exactly where we find her now. Now all she has to do is hand it over to Matt.
Hand it over. You said that one.
That
was good.
Just because the word hand is used doesn't make it a pun.
But it works.
That's why you shouldn't name your crazy ancient conspiracy-filled organization after a very common word.
I agree with you.
If you don't want ridiculous levels and numbers of puns.
They're not puns, though.
But, like, now Elektra's in charge. I still think she's going to give it to Matt. That's still my prediction. We'll get into that later. But now she is in control of at least the 3 fingers that are left.
Well,
not really good for her.
Are there the 3?
She is. We don't know how they respond to that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
They seem scared.
Do you guys think they're going to? How do you think they react to that?
No, of course they're not going to go down easy. I mean, they've been around for centuries. Like, why were they going to go down without a fight and just be like, okay, you're a new leader, let's go?
Well, see, even before when Madame Gao and Alexandra were talking, you could see that there was a shift in power. Before, we had seen that Alexandra was a little bit more powerful. But, again, freaking Alexandra was in front of the mirror. And then Madame Gao came. She was just taking the pill. So she knows already everything that she went through. So I'm thinking at that point, Madame Gao is kind of in charge of the other fingers in a way. I mean, not like super obvious, but just out of the
just that Madame Gao has a plan where the others don't.
Well, because she's like their representative in a way, and so they sent her to talk to her, or she thought she was talking to her on their behalf, because they could have all come together and just talked to Alexandra, but no, she went alone. So in a way, she has a little bit more power than other people. That's what I'm thinking. But then she talked to, who was it? Murakami, when they were walking by, and she said, "You were right."
Yes.
Or something. I don't know what that's about exactly. But then Alexandra's gone. Bakudo's gone. So I think Madame Gao's still kind of up there. But Black Sky is even more up there because she just freaking killed Alexandra.
Well, she was able to sneak up on her. That was the advantage that she had. But, like, I think the idea is the Black Sky has given her, or being the Black Sky and going through this ritual that they've all gone through as well, I think it gives her it's a question, I guess I don't know, if she could easily just win in a fight.
Well, my thing is that, like, it seemed like they were about to move on Alexandra anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't see why now all of a sudden they were already planning on moving Alexandra. Moving against Alexandra means moving against Black Sky. So they had every intention of fighting her anyways. I don't see why they don't try to fight. I don't see why they just sit down and,
well, it's not going to be easy. No. They're not just going to sit down, but...
Or do they let her, quote unquote, be in charge while they sort of like pull strings in the background? Like,
I think that would be more the likable case.
But that would be the easiest way to subdue her in a sense. Like, because if they have to fight her, she might kill them or one of them or whatever. Yeah. And they've already lost 2 fingers. If they can just like placate her and like leave her alone, like to like think she's running things while they get into this dome that's we still have to talk about the blueprints that Jessica and Matt found. But if they can use if they can figure out a way to get Iron Fist to let them into the dome, then and like she's just like up in Midland Financial, like, yeah, I'm running the place, like feet up on the desk, and they're like in Kunlun, like, have fun.
I don't see that happening because I don't like. It's not like it's a far off like plan that they're like working towards. Like all this stuff is happening right now, and she knows about all that stuff because she's been there. That's fair. Alexandra just told her about getting back to Kunlun and the materia and using the last of it for her, and how they're all vulnerable for death. So she knows everything now.
Yeah. The stakes are high.
Right.
She knows.
So I don't think they can placate her and like, okay, go play now, leader of the hand, while we go do our stuff.
She wouldn't do that. She wants to be in on everything. I mean, that's how she's been raised. That's what she's been doing this whole time. I don't think she's gonna rest easy. She's gonna do something towards them, because of her relationship with Matt, is she gonna go with him or is she gonna stay on the hand side?
I just hope that we get more Alexandra, that there's some more, whether it be like flashbacks, maybe, as cheesy as that is, because like I just feel like we didn't get enough. Like we got so much tension and buildup of like how evil she could be and potential and stuff, but then it just like, if this is where her character ends, is very, very underwhelming for everyone.
And especially because it is Sigourney Weaver. It's not just a nobody. Right. So when we heard that she was going to be...
the performance has been great.
Yeah,
just as far as like a villain, like there was not... Madame Gao comes off, in my opinion, way more threatening with her, blasting through the wall and shooting her guy in the head.
Yeah. Oh man,
she was great when she just did the hand thing and it just...
Jessica's like I'm gonna put this dumpster here and like pile this stuff. Like, guys, I can't even bit. And then Madame Gao's like,
look, she doesn't even use 2 hands though. She just flips it, just casually like.
Small lady, but very feisty.
Her shooting him in the head though was the moment where I was like, oh shit. Yeah. Oh, she okay.
I saw that coming though, because like he's the only one shooting. We already know they want him alive. Like, what are you doing? What if the bullet ricochets off Luke?
He doesn't care.
Boom. Do bullets ricochet off Luke, or does he stop them like a bulletproof vest?
I feel like we got canon that they ricochet in his show. Maybe I need to rewatch it, but I feel like
But he
doesn't
can
that
also-
happen? Doesn't somebody get injured from a bullet bouncing off of him?
Maybe.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Someone in the chat tell us.
Yeah, chat. Let us know if you remember. And Luke Cage was established that they stop
Ricochet
or keep
or
going.
they go. Yeah.
It may also depend on the type of bullet, stuff like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's.
It's really in depth.
Yeah.
Specific bullet.
I did love, and we
Wouldn't put it past
sort
them.
of touched on it a little bit, but like oh my god, Iron Fist versus Daredevil, and when it turned into Iron Fist versus the Defenders in that scene.
Chat says Ricochet.
Okay.
All right, cool. We'll
All
go
right,
with that.
Ricochet.
with
So yeah,
Got
don't
it.
shoot at Luke if you don't want to shoot Iron Fist too, you idiot.
That's right. That's how Pops died.
Oh, that's right.
Boom.
I told you. I knew I remembered
Yeah.
that.
All right. Well, yeah.
People can
either
get
way,
hurt, guys.
Yeah. So
Just be careful.
But I did
Yeah.
love because it was Daredevil, like totally putting Iron Fist in his place fighting wise, and
yeah.
because
Yeah.
we've seen like it was sort of like the ironic thing with that series, like Daredevil is like way more of a ninja than Iron Fist.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I think a lot of it too is just the experience aspect of where like Iron Fist has probably had more training than Matt, but not as much time actually fighting with people that are
Practical.
trying to kill you.
Like in the
true.
streets.
Yeah, like his time that he's actually been out fighting the Hand is not as much time that Matt has put in.
But damn, did that fight look good?
I know.
Like
But-
that was Daredevil versus Iron Fist.
I mean, but
on
it's-
our TVs, you
but
guys.
Daredevil versus Iron Fist not using his Iron Fist.
This
Yes,
is true.
Because they're on a
Boring.
pretty level power field at that point, but once he cheese up, it's like this.
Yeah.
He just has to touch him and he's dead.
I love that this time because they're indoors when he hits Luke. It's literally it's just it's the same thing as Avengers 1 with Thor's hammer and Cap's shield. It's an unstoppable force when meeting an immovable object,
Yeah.
and literally their ears are ringing
That
from
was
the
so
blast.
awesome how they did that.
Yeah.
So good. Let's real quick touch on. We've got about 9 minutes left. 6:51. So Matt and Jessica
Yes!
go to hunt down in some classic Jessica Jones style stuff, like go to talk to her client to try to get more information, and I love the back and forth of them as like playing detective
Yes.
Yeah.
here.
Well, I also loved what Jessica was telling the client's daughter.
About
I have
the-
a friend.
Yes.
Yes.
Ugh.
It just shows you that Jessica understands. Like, she does have a rough exterior. But she gets it. She understands Matt. She had to do a little bit of PI work. And I think it allows Matt to really feel comfortable with at least her knowing, his story. So Jessica is amazing. And she really showed that she cares and she knows what she's doing. But then also, did you guys notice that the piano theme that he was playing was the Daredevil theme?
Was it really?
So
Yeah.
cool!
I thought that was so cheesy.
Oh.
Let me
That's
walk
the
up,
only thing
let me
cool
walk
I
up to
think
the
is
piano
cheesy.
and play my own theme song.
He doesn't know.
doesn't know it's his
a
theme
little
song.
meta.
Okay.
Look, I can appreciate it. I'll be honest, I didn't
Yes.
catch it because I was already like, dude, they're so like, I was like, I think I was talking out loud to the TV. At
But
that
there's
point.
something
It's
in
like,
there.
there's
You
something
know,
in the
damn
piano.
Like,
Yeah.
there's the piano.
What is this? Oh, what is it? C sharp or whatever?
D sharp.
D sharp.
Yeah.
I was
Jim
only
Sharp.
confused why Matt felt the need to like play because I feel like he knew the whole time. Like he only went over there to be like, there's something about that piano.
He has to
wanted
have
to
the
be
theatrical
smooth.
element. I mean, hello, he's holding off
That-
like
He's
our
been
whole conversation we
practicing
had
that
earlier.
Daredevil theme
He's
for
very
6
much like-
months. Okay, he wants to show it off.
That there
Isn't that theme
piano
song
has
good?
a secret.
This is why I'm the best superhero in the Defenders because I have a theme and I can play it.
On the piano.
I'm just
and
gonna
I'm
let
blind,
that
guys.
sit there. Just
It makes sense.
Oh man.
Yeah. But who was it? I think it was Matt that said it, or Jessica. That they find the plans, and then they said, "Oh yeah, well he must have put him in here because he didn't want them to land in the wrong hands."
that one wasn't a pun.
That wasn't. I'm gonna say
But
it
that's what they
slowly.
literally said
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
And you know the
No
writers were
reaction
writing
at
it
all.
like boom-ch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some other quick stuff to touch on before we wrap out. Back in the detention room, Colleen, when she gets cut by Bakudo, Bakuto's super suave, by the way.
Yes, he
One
is.
of the best parts of Iron Fist.
I'm pretty glad they brought him back because they brought him back because he was really good in Iron Fist. He's just a great actor, and he plays that really suave.
And he's playing mind games. He effectively took Colleen out of the fight with a mind game.
Yeah.
He didn't even need to cut her.
Yeah.
That was just sort of like a stay down kind of thing. Yeah. But he put so much doubt in her that she broke down. And we have Colleen and Misty Knight in the same room, you guys. The same room. Later to be maybe they're gonna be best friends. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but maybe in the future they're laying the groundwork.
It's working.
Her sword.
So it'll be
unusual.
like, hey, I remember you. We met when the Hand tried to destroy New York City.
Do you remember that? Good times, guys.
Or when they just combine the series to make Heroes for Hire in Pop's
Spoilers.
barbershop.
Okay. Potential.
Maybe.
You
never know.
Spoilers.
It's a
We already talked
prediction.
about Heroes.
Yeah. All right. Why don't do you guys have any other moments that you really love that we didn't get a chance to touch on? Obviously, guys, we're doing 2 episodes in an hour, so we can't hit every plot line.
Yes.
But any other moments that you really loved from these episodes?
Yes. The pauses in Murakami and Alexandra's conversation when he's talking about, oh, well, I just wanted to be here for your last meal or whatever.
Oh, yes.
They're
So
so,
much there.
perfect because sometimes you don't have to say that much and just the pauses say so much by saying nothing. But that was perfect. So, and then later.
Pregnant pause.
I was so mad again that I'm like,
Yeah.
they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight.
Ah!
They didn't fight.
But and
I feel
later.
like they're past fighting at this point.
That's when
I
Iron Fist is
still
literally
wanted Sigourney
dragged
Weaver
in.
to fight.
The both fingers of the hand, and he fights bears. Of course they're gonna fight.
Well, he's a wolf, basically.
Right.
Later, Alexandra
But we saw him
says,
cut up a bear he killed with his bare hands.
bare hands.
Bear.
It's a double pun.
Alexandra later, she says, if you knew me at all, you'd know I always win. I like that they make you think a certain way, and that she doesn't.
I'm just saying, there's 2 episodes left.
She didn't get decapitated.
I feel like there's going to be a lot
You got-
left to happen in the
Didn't
next
she-
2 episodes.
2 hours is a lot, guys.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
like
lot of
Stick.
shit that's going to
That
happen.
was Stick that got decapitated on the floor. She's not
So,
decapitated.
Alexandra
so she could
has
come
not
back.
been-
Alexander has not been decapitated. Did Stick? I don't even think
There's
Stick
hope.
got
Stick did not get
decapitated.
decapitated.
But Stick is also not anyone that's going to come back to life.
Or
I know technically, I know it's the Marvel universe and but Stick's dead.
But he's dead.
Alexandra that's a fair question
Yeah.
about whether she's fully
There's 2
dead.
episodes left. It's Sigourney Weaver. We've yet to
They've
see
got
her do
Iron
anything
Fist.
really evil.
In their position.
They've got Iron Fist in the room. Maybe I don't know if they have to. Maybe they have to like do some what's the needle
But who's gonna
thing?
bring her back?
Acupuncture on him and just turn on his Iron Fist.
He's like
I was
asleep.
like,
And
wait a
then
second,
just-
where is this going? I
and
was
then
like,
you just drop him
Sleep
down the
punch.
hole, and he's like, and then he blows up the dome.
yes, that's
Not
exactly
a real
what's going
prediction.
to happen.
All right, any other moments that you guys wanted to call out?
me.
Danny versus everybody was great. It was really good.
Nice.
I just want to say that again.
I felt for the poor kid, but I really didn't. He was getting on my nerves at that point.
What about you, Candice? Any favorite moments?
No, I think we touched on it. I really loved Elektra and Matt's interactions, how far and few between they were, but all those just those little eye motions when she completely turned around and did not attack him at one point during the fight in the restaurant, and then moving forward whenever she was killing Stick, of her actually saying hi, Matt. Those 2 moments were just speaking volumes to me, because that's when, going back to our previous conversation of talking about is she really Elektra or not, I feel like she's in there because she had those interactions. Yes. Now, what she is now, is she a combination between the 2? I think only time will tell within the next 2 episodes, because, again, I'm a full believer of, if life happens to you, you're going to be affected by it. But she also was fighting for the opposite side before she died, so she knows from both perspectives. So what she could do with both of that, time can only tell.
I do want to point out, chat says Alexandra was decapitated.
Wow.
Oh, she
Wait, what?
was. We were totally wrong.
Oh, yeah, she did
She
at
cut
the
her head on the
end.
floor after she
Yes,
stabbed her. She
yes,
stabbed her
after
in
she
the back,
stabbed her.
and then
Yeah.
Whatever.
I
She's
just
got a
decided to block
Lazarus
that out of
pit.
my
I mean, Kunlun magic. What?
Thank you, Chat.
Amy, any
Yes,
last things? I know you have
okay.
a bunch. So
I
rattle
do.
them off
Yes.
quick because we're
well,
out
it's
of
just
time.
this is the last one. Between Danny and Luke, when he's kind of his when Luke is kind of his officer
Guard?
yeah.
Yes.
he sits down with the magazine. He says, "I'll be right here when you're done." It's kind of like a father-son kind of a thing, and it's really funny.
Yeah. What's the big brother, little brother that those guys have?
Yeah. Well, and then later Luke tells Danny, "Well, really tell me how your life was like or whatever." And then he starts saying it. "Well, I went over here. I was kidding." And then he sees that he's a little bit sad.
Because no one wants to listen no one wants to listen to your stories,
but
Danny.
Luke
cares.
Luke is there for everyone, and I just shout out to Luke. You're awesome.
Luke knows that this kid just wants somebody to listen to him and pay attention to him.
And Luke can do that for him.
Like, this kid needs attention, but we are out of time. I was trying to make that as some kind of joke about how we don't need your attention anymore because we're running out of time. But we do need your attention because we have one more after show to do tonight. Guys, we're going to wrap it up right here. Thank you for tuning into the Defenders After Show. If you're watching live, tonight at 10 p.m. Pacific, right here at AfterBuzz TV, we're going to be talking about the last 2 episodes. Be there. I'm your host, Zach Wilson, on social media at @ZachWilson. Real quick, guys.
Amy Cassandra, Twitter and Instagram at @AmyCassandra_TV.
Candice Cruz at Candice R. Cruz.
Nate Miller, you can find me at DogLikeNate on all social media.
All right, guys.
See you soon.
This has been the Defenders After Show. Thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.